Hey everyone, my name is Terrence Autry and this is Run It Back. And NBA analytics had a huge impact on the current NBA. It's completely changed how we understand the game, what insights we can gain from the game, and when it's applied in the right context, you can really learn a lot from NBA analytics. One of the most frustrating things that are done that pundits do, people in general do, but especially pundits like Fox Sports, on ESPN, etc., is they'll take stats out of context and also take stats and cherry pick them to fit their own agenda or their own argument. So for example, you have Kobe being compared to James Harden, and looking at James Harden's field goal percentage and points per game is basically painting James Harden as an inefficient player, where there are much better stats that can be used to judge efficiency, and I'll show that in a minute. So one of my favorite stats, points per possession, improves on that field goal percentage stat. Points per possession is basically the number of points that are scored on average per possession in a game for a team or a player. This is important because it adjusts for a team's pace, which is the number of possessions that a team averages in a game. For example, a team like the Warriors, who like to play really fast and really push the ball, are going to generate more possessions in a game compared to a team like the Grizzlies, who like to walk the ball up and who like to play at a much slower pace, will generate less possessions in a game. The faster pace that you play at, the more possessions you're going to generate, which results in more points, more assists, and more rebounds and other statistics. This is important because it can inflate or deflate team or player statistics. So for example, the New Orleans Pelicans last season scored the third most points per game at 115.4. So does this mean they had the third strongest offense in the league last season? No. A big reason for why they scored so many points was because they played the second fastest pace in the league at 103.89 or 103.89 possessions per game. How can we truly judge how strong an offense the Pelicans were last season? If we go over to their offensive points per possession, you'll see that they were 12th in the league at 110.7 or 110.7 points per 100 possessions. And if you divide 110.7 by 100, you'll get 1.107 points per possession. 110.7 is used over 1.107 is because 110.7 is a more aesthetically pleasing number. The same concept applies on defense. The Oklahoma City Thunder last season gave the 15th most points per game at 111.1. So we should now know that this does not mean that they were the 15th strongest defense in the league last season. A major reason for why they gave up more points was because they played at the 6th fastest pace in the league last season at 103.38 or 103.38 possessions per game. And if we navigate to their defensive points per possession, you'll see that they're 4th in the league at 106.5 or 1.065 points per possession. Another reason why points per possession is one of my favorite stats is because when used correctly, it's a much stronger statistic than field goal percentage. Field goal percentage is a great stat. It's been historically used to judge player and team efficiency, but it has two main flaws. The first, that it doesn't take into account free throws made, and second, it doesn't take into account three-pointers made. So for example, we have two MVP candidates from last season, James Harden and Giannis, and if you look at their field goal percentage, you would assume that Giannis was the more efficient player, but making that assumption, that would really be selling James Harden short. It's true that James Harden has a much lower field goal percentage, but he more than makes up for that in the amount in converting more free throws at a higher percentage and converting more three-pointers at a higher percentage. And the three-pointer part is particularly important because 3 points is more than 2. If you look at James Harden's offensive points per possession compared to other high-usage players last season, you'll see that he was 3rd in the league. And it's particularly crazy that he was 3rd in the league considering how high his usage is compared to the field. This is why James Harden gets tagged the greatest isolation player ever, or they're at least starting to ask that question if he is because it's crazy for a player to have this high of a points per possession at his usage when he scored primarily on isolation plays. So that's it for now, guys. Thank you. I hope you enjoyed my video. Please like or comment and subscribe to my channel. I'll Run It Back, and I will definitely catch you guys next time. Peace out.